professional studio in the outskirts of Los Angeles, this is the Mindless Horror Podcast. And here are your hosts, Anthony and George Zaragoza.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Mindless Horror Podcast, the podcast where we talk about everything and anything horror. My name is Anthony.
I'm George.
And we are your hosts for this amazing podcast. We're going to start out the show like we do every show, and that's going to be with the shout-outs. First shout-out's going to go to Promote Horror. We shouted them out last week, but he told me if I needed anything ever promoted that he would help out, so that's really cool of him to do. So go follow them on social media. Go check out their website. Next one's going to be to Josue. He just turned 21 this last week, the one half of the League of Extraordinary Vloggers. So happy 21st birthday to Josue. That's really cool. I mean, 21, you can drink now, bro.
Yeah.
So that's cool. And you can gamble in Vegas. SoCal Exploring, me and that guy, we've been talking a lot lately. So, it's good that he gives me shout outs, and I'll continue giving him shout outs because, he's a pretty cool guy. Horror Galore, they gave us another shout out for the podcast this past week, so that was really cool of them. Go check out their pages. This next one is a huge shout out to Crypt TV. They actually commented on the last week's podcast and liked our segment that we did on this week on Crypt TV. And when I tweeted them if they watched the podcast, what they thought of it, they actually tweeted back that they really liked it. So a huge thanks and a huge shout out to Crypt TV for checking us out. That's really cool. If you guys don't know what Crypt TV is, you should know by now. We have been covering them the last 2 weeks, and all they do is make horror shorts on their channel. The director Eli Roth owns that company, and that's his channel, but he collaborates with a lot of famous, or not even famous, but up and coming directors and stuff, and they direct these shorts, and he collaborates with them, helps them get a budget for them and stuff like that. So that's really cool. So a huge shout out and a huge thank you to Crypt TV for the kind words, and that really mean a lot for us. And last but not least, like every week, we give a shout out to the audience, because without you guys, we wouldn't be doing this podcast. So let's move on to our first topic, which is Women in Horror number 3. We have one more next week because Women in Horror is very dear to our hearts, because without these women, there'd basically be no horror. I mean, yeah, you could put a guy in there, but the normal cliche is always a woman. So I'm going to start off with my list. I'm going to go first with Denise Russo. She was from Scout's Guide to the Zombie Apocalypse, and she was badass. She was actually she was a stripper, right?
I think so.
Or she worked at a strip club, and when the zombie apocalypse broke out, she teamed up with these kids that she found, and they kicked a bunch of ass together, so that was really cool. I'm going to go Lorraine Warren from The Conjuring. She's a badass because all she does is perform exorcisms, and she's gone face to face with a lot of demons and stuff. So she's on the list this week. Little Rock from Zombieland, because Little Rock was as little as she was and as young as she was pretty badass in Zombieland. So that was pretty cool. The next one's gonna go to her sister Wichita in the movie, which she was also really badass, played by the amazing Emma Stone. And together they were like a little team, because they were sisters, so they looked out for each other and they were a good team. And my last one's gonna go to Michonne from The Walking Dead, because she is just so badass with her samurai sword, and I have a ton of respect for her.
All right, I'm up next. This week I decided to go a little bit different, and I decided to make an all-game list of horror. And I'm gonna start out with Kidman from Evil Within. Evil Within 1 and 2, and both of them, especially in the first one, it's kind of spoilers. You could kind of think of her as kind of like a dick, because it kind of looks like she's in it for herself, and she's kind of just like a spy, and she'll do whatever to get her mission finished. But I really like her character, and I think she's an overall badass, and she doesn't take any shit from anybody. Next one is Ellie and Nicole from the Dead Space series. All my stuff I'm going to talk about, I'm going to talk some spoilers. But Ellie and Nicole in the Dead Space series, they're really cool characters, specifically Nicole's character, especially in Dead Space 2, because I like how she deals a lot with Isaac's psyche and how he's like he kind of sees her and like she's kind of like the bad part of his mind. Even when like that was his girlfriend and he loved her and he would consider her like the best part about him. But I really liked how they kind of used that against him to make him do whatever he wanted. And Ellie is an overall badass too. Just especially when she first meets Isaac, she actually tries to kill him because she's been around necromorphs so much that she really didn't look at him. Next is Amanda Ripley from Alien Isolation, just because she's Ripley's daughter and she's a badass, and I felt like a more personal connection with Amanda Ripley just because you play as her in the game and you kind of go through a journey with her at the same time, and I mean that game kind of speaks for itself when you play it. You know how much of a badass she is and how smart she is. The next is it's kind of like a video game, but it's also a movie. It's The Countess from Stay Alive. That's a horror movie about a video game that kills people. It's actually at least I like it. It's a really good movie, in my opinion. I really like it. And the Countess and she kills people based on their deaths in her video game, and the way she does it, they're really cool, and I highly suggest you check it out because that's a wonderful movie. It's called Stay Alive. And my last one is Ellie from The Last of Us. Last of Us is a roller coaster of emotions, and it really that game really like it got me. I've played it over and over again. It's one of my favorite games, and every time I play it, I really want to like throw my controller out the window because that's how much it affects me. I really love that game.
Yeah, that's a pretty solid list. I didn't even think about the girl from Stay Alive. I forgot all about that movie. That's a really good movie. So yeah, like I say every week, these women give us some of the best nightmares and some of the best on-screen performances, and without them, horror would be pretty much shit. So, moving on from Women of Horror Week 3, we're going to go on to our next topic. So I found this thing on the internet that was pretty cool. So it's Cloverfield and Cloverfield Paradox. We've been talking about Cloverfield for like the last 3-4 weeks now. But this one was cool. I found this really interesting. They found the official tie-in between Cloverfield 1 and Cloverfield Paradox.
Oh, really?
It's really cool. I guess if you start both movies around 1820.
Oh yeah, the monster both pops up or something happens, right?
Well, the minute they launched the accelerator in Cloverfield Paradox is when the
Statue of Liberty
they're at the party and then the lights go out.
Oh, okay.
So it kind of starts to change the reactions from there. So it's pretty cool. I thought that was really cool, the tie-in. If you could find that video on the internet, it's pretty cool. It's just, I guess you just type in Cloverfield Paradox tie-in. And while we're on the subject of Cloverfield Paradox, I read this week that it hit 5 million views in the first week of it being on Netflix. So there is a lot of people who actually, after the Super Bowl, probably went and watched this, or if they didn't watch it that night, they found some time to watch it throughout the week. But either way, that is a fantastic viewership. 5 million views. I mean, I don't know how you would really put that in perspective as to it being like a box office record, you know? I mean, with box office, it's usually numbers with involving money, and this one it's involving views. So I guess that's a box office hit for Netflix.
Yeah, I would assume. I mean, I don't really know how. I don't know how that like works. Yeah. I mean, I don't work at Netflix, but like it's stuff like Altered Carbon or even like Stranger Things. Like they are like hits, but I don't know how they like make money off of that because it's like, especially like with like Xbox Game Pass.
I would say about memberships though. I mean,
yeah.
If you really add it all up, I mean, I think it's on average. I think it's like $10-13 for a membership for Netflix. Mm-hmm. So I would say 5 million times 10. I mean, that's a lot of money right there.
Yeah.
So I mean, they probably already made back the money that they made filming that movie. But yeah, you're right. I mean, at first I always look at that. I'm like, how does they make all these original things, but how do they make their money? You know, I mean, with TV shows that are on like cable and stuff, like they make their money through advertisement and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And like, you know, with premium channels, they make their money, you know, because that probably goes the same with that, with viewership and stuff like that. But either way, that's good that Cloverfield Paradox reached 5 million views. I really enjoyed that movie, and I cannot wait to see Overlord, the next Cloverfield movie that's supposed to be coming out later on this year. Moving on, it's time for some bad horror movie acting. This week is a super short one because I was watching The Hills Have Eyes this past week for horror movie talk that I did yesterday, which is up now. Go check it out. But I filmed a horror movie talk on the 2006 Hills Have Eyes, and one of the scenes caught my attention big time because it was some bad horror movie acting. Originally, I was going to do another bad horror movie acting with another scene, but I could not find that scene, so I kind of just canceled that one out, and I found this one that was even worse than what I was originally going to do.
Nice.
So this one is called Gas Pump Smoke. There's a scene in the movie where in the very beginning, this family, they're the main characters in the movie, they stop by to get gas at this like kind of abandoned gas station. And the guy who owns the gas station, he's like an older man, and they ask him to fill him up and stuff like that, and then they embrace some conversation. Eventually he says something that kind of pisses him off because I guess the dad likes to like explore desert and stuff like that, but the family just wanted to take a shortcut. They're doing a vacation to San Diego, but I guess they trying to take a shortcut and stuff. And so the guy mentions that there's another way to get there faster. And at the same time, while he's pumping the gas, he's smoking a cigar. And if you know this, at a gas station, you're not allowed to smoke because the chances of it blowing up is probably pretty high. But after he tells him that, the dad catches him smoking, and this is what he does.
Don't you know it's illegal to smoke around a gas pump?
What the fuck?
And that is this week's bad horror movie acting. It was 8 seconds long, but he says, don't you know it's illegal to smoke around a gas pump? And just his laugh is horrible to me. So yeah, that's just gonna do it. I don't know. I mean, I'm hoping when I watch Hills Have Eyes 2 that there's more shitty acting like that. I'm finding now that I watch all these horror movies that there's so much shitty acting that like it's just now easier for me to find a movie. Like that one wasn't gonna be my choice for this week, but I had just found out about what I was gonna cover, and then I was like, no, at the last minute I'll just change it. So that was my bad acting for this week. Moving on. We got some more Halloween news. We do another segment on the podcast where lately we've been talking about the new Halloween movie that's scheduled to release this year in October, and we got some new news for that. First and foremost, we got some new set photos that I had pulled apart before the podcast started, and I just kind of want to review them and talk about them a little bit. So here is the first set photo that Blumhouse put up this week. This one was a really interesting one. And I think you'll get a little joy out of this, George. This is what Blumhouse put up this week.
Ooh.
So the picture's on the screen right now. The picture is of the 4 knives that Michael Myers used as his weapon of choice. One of them is all bloody, and 2 of them kind of look all rusted and old, or not rusted, but they look like a little dirty. One of them's clean and stuff. So Blumhouse is constantly releasing photos each and every week on this movie. And I'm really enjoying some of the stuff, which makes me wonder whose blood is that? I mean, is it going to be Jamie Lee Curtis's blood, or is he just killing people to get to her? We don't know.
Yeah.
Another set photo from the infamous Nick Castle. He's been releasing a lot of set photos lately. This one was pretty cool. This was a more behind-the-scenes photo, and one of our favorite comedians is in that set photo. Danny McBride was taking a picture with Nick Castle on the set of Halloween. So we do know officially that he is on set while they are filming this movie. Yeah. We know he did co-write the movie. We don't know if he has a role in the movie yet.
I'm pretty sure he has a cameo, especially if he wrote it. I mean, I'd put myself in the movie.
Yeah, especially if it's Halloween. That'd be really cool. But, I mean, I hope he does have a cameo of some sort. But it is cool to see that he is on set helping out with this movie, and that really makes me happy because I really like Danny McBride.
Yeah, me too.
He's just such a good guy. I'm in love. I don't know if you've probably seen him, but the fucking Mountain Dew commercials he does. Yeah. He just sips it, and it's just, I don't like the song they play, but just the fact that it's Danny McBride just makes it funny for some reason. Yeah. But, yeah. And then this last one really got me. Nick Castle every week has been posting up some Halloween photos, and it just gets better and better every week. And this last one really caught my attention, and this is it.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I remember you telling me about that. The towels.
Yeah. So if you guys aren't familiar, in the very first Halloween movie, Michael Myers looks up at Laurie, and there's like a bunch of like sheets or towels hanging out in the backyard. And it's one of the most iconic scenes in probably horror history and in Halloween is when he looks up at her and you can see him in between the towels. Well, Nick Castle shared this photo of the behind the scenes shoot, and there's a bunch of like towels or sheets hung up. So when I saw this, the first thing that came to mind is one of two things is going to happen. Either it's going to be a psychological thing where Laurie is flipping out and she sees that setup and she just sees Michael Myers. One of my theories in this movie going into it now is like, is Laurie, since she's recovering from all this stuff that happened to her, is she going insane, and is she seeing stuff like that with a lot of the set photos that we've been getting? And this is another case of that. What if Laurie looks down and she sees all those hanging up, and then in her head she sees Michael Myers?
Yeah. But
it turns out to actually be Michael Myers or something like that. So,
yeah, that'd be cool. I'd like to see something like that.
Yeah. I don't know if Laurie is supposed to have kids in this movie.
Ooh, I didn't think about that either.
Yeah, because she is a lot older.
Yeah.
So I would assume she would have a kid of her own by now.
Yeah.
So another question starts to mind: what if maybe if it's a daughter or a son, has the same kind of thing? She looks down at the window and he or she sees Michael Myers.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like a new generation, and so there's a lot of stuff just going on with this movie, and I'm super excited because these set photos, they look promising, and it looks like this is Blumhouse's like movie that this is probably gonna be the biggest movie they've ever made.
Yeah. I agree.
And Blumhouse is known for making very low budget movies
and
then making a shitload of money off of them. I think like Get Out made I think their budget was like $36 million or something like that, and they made like 300 and something million.
Yeah.
So it's like they're known for making, no matter if they suck or if they're really good, they still make a shitload of money because it's a horror movie and people are gonna go see it.
Yeah.
Especially with Halloween. Halloween is a very popular franchise, and for Universal to get the rights back to this movie, and Blumhouse working on it is actually a big honor. I think after Halloween 2, like someone else bought out the rights and did their own movie. They started a whole franchise of movies, and I think as of this Halloween, they brought back the rights, and so they're starting to do it again, which a lot of people are speculating that this will be a Halloween Horror Nights property because Blumhouse has been working with John Murdy, and it's a Universal property, so it shouldn't be as hard to get rights as like other movies.
Yeah, I would like to kind of see this. I would like to see this as a maze, especially maybe on the new movie. But I would want to. Like, some part of me would want to watch the movie before I went in the maze.
Yeah, and that was how I felt with Happy Death Day, because, like, I didn't really understand anything, but, like, it was a good part of the maze, and then after I watched Happy Death Day, it was a lot better.
Yeah.
Like, I understood it more. You still haven't seen that, right?
No, I haven't.
Yeah, once you watch it, you'll kind of understand the maze more. But, you know what? Like, and I said this year, I think we're going to go multiple times this year, so even if we go on opening day and haven't seen the movie and then we wait, we'll probably go, like, maybe one or two more times before the movie comes out. And then we'll see the movie, and then when we go back through it again, we'll be like, "Oh, this makes more sense now," And so, I'm not too stressed out about that. I know if he does do a maze, he won't give away too much because he didn't really do that for Insidious.
Yeah.
So, another big thing that was big on Halloween this week was Jamie Lee Curtis actually wrapped her production for this movie, so she's done filming.
Yeah, and I think it just started.
Yeah.
Filming, I think January. Was it January?
Yeah, January. So she was filming like about a month and a half now.
Yeah.
That's also brings me the question, is her character going to die off in this movie? Did they only have so much time with her that they just did her shit first and then they're going to do... Because remember I was telling you that we when we first heard news about this movie, I think we talked about it in like the first or second podcast, but we talked about the whole cast list of who's going to be in there, and... we had this conversation earlier this week that we haven't seen any of that cast on the set photos at all.
Yeah. Like,
regardless if they're nobodies or not, but still, I want to just see that they're on there. So we were just kind of coming to the assumption that maybe they only had so much time with her that they just hurried up and did her stuff and then got her out of there. Or, and then they're going to film everyone else's stuff next. But I know they've been filming a lot of stuff with her and Michael. Mm-hmm. So that's, for all we know, they could have already filmed the end of the movie and that's it,
Yeah.
And so... but yeah, she's done filming, so she's done.
Yeah, I told you too. I brought up that the first Halloween was filmed in like a month. So,
yeah.
I could kind of see that, and I remember listening to obviously this is a horror movie. I don't know, but during an interview with Chris Evans for his new movie, they asked him. He's like, "Hey, is it faster, like doing a script for a superhero movie or like your drama?" And he's like, "It's faster doing a drama. Like he's like, you get through pages like nothing."
Yeah.
And he's like, with the superhero movie, you're lucky if you get through one page a day. And he's like, so I'm assuming if with this horror movie, I'm pretty sure they're just banging everything out. Like,
yeah, because with I would say that with superhero movies, there's a lot of action that goes into it.
Mm-hmm.
So the majority of the movie is going to be action scenes, and they have to take the proper precautions and the proper safety regulations to make sure no one gets hurt. With a horror movie and like a drama, there's not. It's mostly all dialogue and suspense, so yeah, you can get through pages like nothing. I would say with the horror movie, it's about in the medium zone between the two, because horror movie does have a lot of deaths in it, and it does take a lot of stunts in it, and especially with Michael Myers being a character that he is, I would say that they would take the necessary precautions to like be careful with all the stunts they do, because he is famous for like choking people and stabbing people like like in their like kind of like shoulder and like keeping them like there and stuff like that. So. Yeah, so we're going to move on now. Speaking of Blumhouse is developing a new Five Nights at Freddy's movie.
oh,
You know what? Okay, I will say this. The games, they made like 6 or 7 games within a year.
Yeah.
That was too much. But I have to say the first game was actually pretty good when it first came out. I really enjoyed it. But after, they started doing the more and more, it just got stupid. But I can see this as a movie because it actually makes sense. I started putting it into my head of how this can work as a movie. And if you really think about it, it could be cool. Like, this guy is a new trainee. He comes to the fucking restaurant, and, it's like a Chuck E. Cheese type place. My only thing is, how are they going to make the characters come to life? Is it either going to be like some guy who builds all this shit, and he's secretly behind it to make it more of a realistic standpoint, because in the game they didn't really give much backstory of how they were alive. They just that they are alive, and so that's gonna be the thing they got to work out. Either something possessed them, or they have the guy who creates all the animatronics for the restaurant. He's actually controlling them and trying to kill everybody. So I mean, either one of the two can work out. I would like to go more on the point of the guy creating the stuff and trying to kill people, because that puts back of a psycho murderer behind everything. Mm-hmm. But it can work out because you do. It takes place within like 5 or 6 nights, or no, 5 nights. Yeah, so it takes place within 5 nights, so you can see each night as stuff progresses. Like the first night, he hears little noises, but he doesn't think much of it. And then the second night, you start seeing the stuff move around, and as the night progresses, like how the game is, it gets harder. But as the night progresses, you starting to see stuff and shit, and he starts losing his shit. So I can actually see this working out as a movie. On top of that, there's a lot of speculation that they said this movie this property might become Maze for Horror Nights this year, which I can also see how that can work out, because like, see, in the beginning, you could walk into the maze, and it'd be cool that you walk into like the control panel, and you see the security guard dead on the freaking on the panel, but you see the screens everywhere of the monsters running around, and as you go in different rooms, like the monster pops out, so you're supposed to be like the other security guard walking through the place, and you're seeing all these monsters pop out. So but they said that might not be a property as well, because this year this movie's barely in development, so it's in pre-production. So there's still a lot they have to do.
I think it's gonna be another Slender Man. I feel like they're just too late. It seems good, especially like when it first comes out and it has like a giant following. But like I feel like it's just a couple years too late.
I think with Blumhouse though, they can make it work. Even if it does suck, I think the CGI will still be pretty good on it. I just have to see more on it. As of right now, I already know the games and the story behind the games and stuff, but I don't know what their approach is going to be with this movie. I still, I'll back it right now because, like I said, I think it's a cool concept that you can bring to life into a game, into a movie, and like a maze and stuff like that. However, there's a lot of people speculating that this will be a maze this year, and I'm going to have to agree with Zombie Chris on this, that he made a video about this, and he said that this movie was just announced, that they just got the director and they just got, the writer, and then they only put up that one picture that said like Freddy Fazbear and then the director's name, and then in the back it said Blumhouse. They haven't even wrote a script for this movie, so how are you going to make a maze I mean, if you're gonna make a maze, it's gonna be based off the game, obviously. You know,
Yeah.
you can't really base it off a movie that's not made yet. But nonetheless, Blumhouse is making a Five Nights at Freddy's movie. I'm assuming if it does successful, they'll make a franchise of them.
Yeah.
But only time will tell. I mean, when we start hearing news for that, we'll keep you guys updated. But now it's time for your horror movie death.
Yeah, I have one for Cursed. I loved Cursed. You've seen Cursed, right?
The werewolf movie.
Yeah, it's a werewolf movie, and I love werewolves. Okay, well, I got one from Cursed. It's a werewolf movie. There's a part in there where they're confronting a werewolf, and there's like police inside of the building. I kind of have the version of it. There's an unrated version. I think it shows more, but for right now on YouTube, this is all they show. It kind of happens fast. It's not as gory as last week's, but it depending on who you are. But it's still nice nonetheless. Here it is right here.
Man, that's ugly. It's dead.
All clear.
It's fucked up.
Yeah, okay.
What is this thing?
I told you, it's a werewolf. You have to separate the head from
Right in the brain, dude.
Yeah, all the brain coming out.
Yeah.
That's why it happens fast, but it's still.
Is this the same scene where he flips him off?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
gonna show you that part, but
That part's so funny. That's a good movie, though. I would like to see that as a maze one day.
yeah, I
'cause-
love the suits in
Cursed.
Cursed. They're so fucking good.
Yeah, the werewolves came out really good in that movie. It's quite a bit of a twist in that, too, of who the werewolves are and stuff. But yeah, nonetheless, that was a pretty good one. The werewolf gets his head blown off. You see brains everywhere. Moving on. This is a topic I knew both of us would like because we're huge fucking fans of Metallica. But
Yeah.
we found out James Hetfield is going to star in the Ted Bundy movie with Zac Efron.
Yeah.
I am so Papa Head. I am so excited about that. If you guys don't know the whole Papa Head thing, that's his Instagram name. People call him that as just kind of like a little thing because we're all Metallica fans. But yeah, James Hetfield. This is gonna be his first dramatic role, and he's supposed to be playing the deputy who pulls him over on the side of the road as he's driving away from a crime scene, and he finds all this stuff in his car, like burglary equipment and stuff like that, like crowbars and stuff like that. So they did show a set photo of him. I will put on the screen of him in the room with Zac Efron, who's playing Ted Bundy, and he's playing the cop. Funny enough, too, the reason why he got this role was because the guy who was directing this movie directed a documentary called Some Kind of Monster, which is a Metallica documentary of the making of Saint Anger, but that's also them like arguing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's a pretty good documentary, but he's always been a fan of Metallica, so he asked James if he wanted to come and do the role. And ironically enough, James Hetfield with that suit on looks just like a fucking...
Yeah, and they even they covered up his tattoos he has on his hands. So
Yeah.
he looks pretty.
He looks
like,
legit,
Yeah,
you know?
he looks
And
like,
I hope he does good. I don't know if he's going to be in the movie long. But
I doubt he's gonna be, but it's still gonna be a nice cameo.
yeah, I think he'll have a couple lines, and I think they'll show him pulling Ted Bundy over and taking him in for questioning, and then maybe he gets released somehow, and I think that's all we'll see of him.
Yeah.
But still, nonetheless, Papa Het made it in a movie, and he's gonna take all the Academy Awards next year,
Yes.
and we are gonna vote for everything he's
Yes.
in. Yeah, we love James Hetfield, and congratulations, man. I'm glad you're in a movie. Now come back to California and play Spit Out the Bone for you with us. Next, we're going to talk about, this one kind of caught my attention. Alex Gerald, he's the Annihilation director, if you guys ever seen that. He wants to direct the Swamp Thing movie.
Ooh, that'd be pretty good.
Yeah, now if you guys are not familiar with Swamp Thing, he is the more darker version of the DC universe. He's part of the Justice League Dark.
Yeah. He deals more with like the magic side of
Yeah.
DC.
So this is like more. This is more of DC's horror aspect, and that's why I put it in here because George said a couple weeks ago, whenever we can mix comics and horror together, it's always the best.
Yeah.
But yeah, Swamp Thing is an interesting character. I know in the Justice League Dark movie, didn't Mark Hamill voice him?
Did he?
Or he voiced him at one point in something. I know he voiced him in something, but or I know someone big voice. I thought it was Mark Hamill, but I knew someone big voiced him. But yeah, Swamp Thing is such an interesting character, and for Alex Gerald to come out and say that he would like to direct one, it's so cool. So I hope DC kind of saw that and was like, oh, well, we're interested in doing a Justice League Dark movie. Maybe you can help out with that. I know speaking on the topic of Justice League Dark, I know Guillermo del Toro wrote an amazing script for that, and he wants to direct the Justice League Dark movie.
Yeah, I heard that too. He was supposed to do I believe the Justice League movie in like the early 2000s, but that fell through. I think because of the writer's strike.
Yeah. And they did show concept art of what his Justice League Dark characters were going to look like, of the actors he wanted to play. Like,
yeah, they looked good.
Yeah, they looked all like steampunk kind of,
yeah,
you know, in a way. So I like the way they were dressed and stuff. So I hope, honestly, one day, though, Guillermo del Toro gets to come back and direct the Justice League Dark movie, because I know that is on, I think that's on the slate of movies they want to direct.
Yeah, it is.
So I hope that they get Guillermo del Toro to do that. But this Swamp Thing movie, like a solo Swamp Thing movie would be cool, because you could see his origin story of how he became who he was.
Mm-hmm. And
that's going to be cool for a lot of people who don't know of who he became, how he became what he became. So that would be interesting if that comes on a slate one day. Hopefully it comes pretty soon, but only time will tell. All right, guys, like we mentioned in the beginning of the podcast of the shoutouts, Crypt TV gave us a huge shout out for our
podcast.
Yeah, our podcast, but it's a topic that we do every week. Called This Week on Crypt TV, where we review all their. They come out with 3 videos every week. I only leave one out every week, because not that it's like bad. I'm a huge fan of the series, but just because it is a series, I don't want to give too much into detail, because it's already on season 2, and that's Sunny Family Cult.
Yeah,
I only leave it out every week, because I don't want to spoil it too much. Who's ever watching it from the beginning? Mm-hmm. And I know you haven't watched it.
Yeah, I haven't watched it. I actually really wanted to binge watch it.
Yeah, and week. You know, I got to catch up on it, but I only leave it out because, like I said, I don't want to spoil it, and yeah. But this week we're gonna talk about they did a Stoneheart episode 3 called Requiem, yeah, and they did Occupied. We just watched those before the podcast, and yeah, I really liked Stoneheart.
I'm very interested in Stoneheart.
Stoneheart's pretty good. I like the witch demon aspect of that girl.
She looks pretty crazy too. I like her horns.
Yeah, I really like the makeup on that, and I also like the fact that they are still focusing on the little girl to see how she became that. I know in the episode 2 we saw the little girl, but we didn't know how she had the demon with her and stuff. So it was cool to see that come to life and run full circle. So I hope we see her kind of. To me, it's looking like her character is almost like a Ghost Rider mixed with Punisher kind of character, where she's just gonna like punish the people who's always like kind of fucks with her.
Yeah,
and,
I could see that. That's pretty cool.
And like she didn't really sell her soul because she didn't really ask for it, but like I guess this demon's attached to her. Like that's where the Ghost Rider aspect comes from, and I do like how they are where they're going with this, because honestly, just seeing this girl just kill people is just so badass.
Yeah. In
this short,
especially in the latest one, she like stuck her whole hand down this guy's throat. That was a really nice kill.
What I did like too, a nice film point of view, like it showed the point of view, or it showed the witch doing it, and then it like cuts to her. Yeah. Like if she was the witch, it was like almost like an enchantress kind of thing. Yeah. Where she like that, but she's aware that's in her, and she likes that it's in her. Mm-hmm. So that was pretty cool that happened. And then she sticks her hand out, and it's all bloody and stuff. Yeah. And that was really cool. Another one I want to talk about is Occupied. Now, Occupied was a pretty interesting one. I did like the thing, because what made it so good for me is they didn't show the monster.
Yeah, I wanted to talk about that too.
So it left it in suspense, where it's like, okay, well, we know that's something, but what was it? So I hope eventually down the line they do make a sequel to that. Yeah. Just kind of showing what the monster's like and stuff. I really enjoyed that skit though, because like he's going to the bathroom. Someone knocks on the door, and he just tells them, hey, I'm in here. Go to another stall, and then he leaves. And then when he goes down the hallway, like the lights start flickering, and then you see a shadow of someone, but you don't know what it was. Yeah. And then you hear like a loud ass groan. He runs back into the bathroom. He hides in there, and they kick down his door eventually. And then the lights go off again, and then he slowly just starts dying. You see something drag out his body, and it just ends. So I did like. This one looks like it was on a really low budget, and I like when movies are like that, because
they use all their tools.
Not only that, this gives them a chance to prove to like, this is what we had and this is what we made. And
yeah, it was really good for what they. I mean, obviously it felt like it had a low budget, but we don't know for sure.
Yeah, I mean, even if it did too, like maybe they were like, all we want is for Crypt TV to show it, and we'll pay for it and stuff. Like if it was one of those kind of things, or if they only asked for so much because they wanted to keep it in suspense, which I really did enjoy that aspect of it. It's so cool. I don't know how it works with Crypt TV. I know that they partner up with a lot of stuff, and I don't know if they'll give them money to produce. I'm assuming they do, because a lot of the stuff that they do produce, a lot of the content they do produce are really good.
Yeah.
For just being like short horror films. So, I would assume they don't cost a lot to make.
Yeah.
I would say like a couple $1,000s.
Yeah.
For a little
I
horror
agree.
short. Because I would say a lot of the makeup goes, or a lot of the money goes towards like all the cool and awesome makeup that they put in all their shit, and a lot of like like the weapons and stuff they use. So, those two videos were really good. And like I said, Sunny Family Cult, it's really good. I just don't like to talk about it because like if people are watching it, it's already on season 2, and I don't want to talk about it like that. As with Stoneheart though, Stoneheart's barely on season 1, so we can keep up with that as it goes on. But yeah, guys. That was this week on Crypt TV. Thank you for the free and awesome, amazingly directed and produced horror. We love watching it, and we get a good scare out of it. Now we're going to go on to our subtopics. We just talked about our main slate of topics this week, so we're going to go on to little things that I thought we should bring up, or even if they're bigger things. So let's get it started. Tom Holland, not the guy who played Spider-Man, but the guy who directed like the first or second Fright Night movie. He's writing a Fright Night 3 book.
Yeah, I'm pretty interested in that.
I'm interested in it, and then I guess what had happened was someone did a fake listing on Amazon, and Amazon got on his ass for that.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So, I liked Fright Night 1. Fright Night 2 I did watch, and Fright Night 2 is a little bit different. It was more, I would say it was more of a B movie, only because with Fright Night 2, it was more like it was a chick who was the vampire this one.
Yeah.
And all she tried doing was seducing the guy throughout the whole movie to try to like how they did in the Fright Night. You know how they do like the mind control stuff with vampires and stuff like that. So she did that. It wasn't bad.
Was his friend from the last
no
one?
one from the last one was in that movie. But I think it was, I don't remember too much, but I think it was supposed to be the same characters, just recasted.
Oh, okay.
But
yeah, I'm kind of excited for that because the original left off in a cliffhanger.
yeah,
I love the remake with Anton Yelchin. I love him as an actor. I thought he was a very good actor. I was very sad to find out he had passed.
yeah.
I think he passed 2 years ago.
No, it's been longer than that, dude.
Has it really?
Yeah.
Oh, man, that makes me sad.
But yeah, I mean, I love vampire movies, because like it all goes back to like when Dracula first came out, and that movie was something. The one thing I always found interesting in that movie is that he never blinked in that movie.
Really? Does he not really?
And yeah, and I guess if you watch the whole movie,
In I'm sorry, what movie?
in Dracula, the original Dracula from like the 1930s, 1940s, he does not blink one bit.
Oh, okay.
And he did that. He said he did that because it's more of a vampire aspect, that like vampires never blink and stuff because they're already dead. So that was pretty cool. But yeah, Tom Holland's writing a Fright Night 3 book. I think I would probably read it because I liked Fright Night 1 and Fright Night 2 wasn't too bad. So
Yeah.
I would read it. So yeah, looking forward to that. Next thing we're gonna talk about is season 3 of Stranger Things is gonna be 8 episodes long.
Yeah, I talked to you about this yesterday. I'm really excited about that. I like when series on Netflix they only do 8 episodes because for Jessica Jones and Luke Cage, I really like the first half of Luke Cage. I binge watched the first half and then I kind of fell off. I really like Jessica Jones, but I don't think they need to be 13 episodes. Like if a solid 8 would give them a bigger budget and they can get through everything faster. And
Yeah.
I'm really excited for that because I don't know how many episodes last Stranger Things were.
I think it was like 12.
I think you're right.
But yeah, it's funny you bring up it's funny that you bring up Jessica Jones, because with Jessica Jones it was like 13 episodes, and honestly, like, don't get me wrong, I enjoyed it, but it just got repetitive because she was going after freaking Kilgrave this entire time, and like it was just annoying because she had him in her fingertips and then he would escape. And then it was the same thing over. Like, it did that like 3 or 4 times in that show, and it really pissed me off. But yeah, so that's Stranger Things is gonna be 8 episodes long. I do like that because, like you said, it gets to the point right away. It gives them 4 episodes to set everything up and 4 episodes to do all the action.
Yeah.
So that's I think to me that's perfect amount, because you don't need that much. If you're doing 12 episodes, that's like 6 to set it up and 6 to do action.
Especially like each episode's like an hour and
that's like 12 hours, dude. Now if it cuts it down to 8 hours, I'll be done with it in a day.
Yeah, I'll be done with it in a day, and I feel like it won't drag on. Because even then, I feel like if you have 12 episodes and you really, like you have a good story, like, and you have to stretch it out between 12 episodes, it's kind of like, I don't know, I feel like I shouldn't have to do this, you know?
Yeah, and then I guess for spoilers who've never seen Stranger Things season 2 or had never seen Stranger Things whatsoever, but in the end of season 2, we do see that big ass monster that was inside, what's his name? Will?
Yeah.
He, I guess, still alive in the Upside Down.
The Mind Flayer.
Yeah, so that's still alive, and so I just want to see where they're gonna go with this season 2 because with season 2 they also introduced us. There's more kids like 11.
Yeah.
So I want to see, are they gonna touch on that aspect a little bit more and introduce more of the kids that were like her. Because she was like number 8 or something, wasn't she? Or like 9?
I think so, yeah.
I don't remember, but she was like a low number, so I want to see if they can introduce more kids like 11. And her powers were cool because she made people see stuff that weren't real.
Yeah.
Like the perfect example of it is in the beginning when they show they're getting chased by the cops. She made the cop think that there was like rocks falling and shit and the tunnel was flooded.
Yeah.
And then when you got out, like, there was nothing there.
Yeah, I just, I didn't like that episode of Stranger Things. It was kind of, I liked it, but I didn't. I liked 11 in there, but I really didn't care for her sister or anything. Like, I don't know, I just didn't find it interesting. I was kind of like, I just feel like because it was such a pull from them, like, doing stuff with the Mind Flayer and then, like, going back to, like, 11 doing, like,
her own shit.
Yeah, it was kind of like, eh.
Yeah, the sister obviously in that show, she was kind of a bitch, but I did like what her character can, her powers and stuff, so that was pretty cool to see. But I hope they touch on more of like 11's people and stuff like that. That'd be cool. Next thing I want to talk about is Betty Buckley. I guess she's she's like this lady. She's an actor or actress, should I say? She's set to play Jesse Custer's grandmother in season 3 of Preacher, and she's said to be a very evil character.
Oh, that's pretty interesting.
So, by evil character, I don't know if she's just like fucking a bitch or if she's just like she's into some black magic and shit, and she's just evil like that. So, I don't know too much about this actress. She's probably a veteran actress, I would assume. Mm-hmm. But I didn't really watch I watched, I think, like a couple episodes last season of Preacher. Don't get me wrong, I love the show. It's a very good show, but I just gotta catch up. But
yeah, I heard there's a controversy about it because I heard that they did some stuff in a religion that people were like a big no with.
Yeah. My dad kind of told me, so I'm gonna go a little bit.
Yeah. Your dad told me too. This is gonna be spoilers for.
But I guess they did some stuff with Jesus, like he was like a playboy.
Or like I heard he was like retarded or something.
That or like he was having sex with someone, and they kind of made a controversy about that, about the Catholic religion and shit like that. So a lot of like religious people were mad. Like me, see, I mean, my dad, he got kind of mad at that too. But like me, the way I look at it is like it's not real.
Yeah, it's a story, and
it's a comic book, so it's just like to me like I already know who I believe in and stuff like that and all that. I'm not gonna get too much into religion, but you know what I'm saying. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Jesse Custer's grandmother is gonna be. I do love that little girl who plays
Tulip.
Yeah, she's so beautiful. So I don't know how her character was this season. And then we have the Irish vampire that me and you just call Irish.
Yeah, I honestly forget his name. I just call him Irish.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's only fitting he calls Preacher Padre throughout the whole movie.
Padre. Yeah.
Or show, excuse me.
But yeah, so I'm excited for that. Next thing we're gonna talk about is the new Quiet Place trailer that came out this past week.
Yeah, this one was really good. It showed a lot more footage, a lot more interesting footage of like John Krasinski's character running through kind of like a field or maybe like it's kind of like a refinery and there's fireworks going off in the distance, which is pretty nice because we don't know if they set them off or someone else set them off to lure the creatures to them or away from them. And we also find out that Emily Blunt's character in there, she's pregnant and she's having a baby in a bathtub.
Another thing that caught my attention too was we finally got some talking in that movie from Emily Blunt's character.
Yeah, and John Krasinski's.
So we did get confirmed that this whole movie is not going to be silent. They're gonna actually start like they're gonna talk more, but I don't think they're gonna talk until maybe like the middle. I would say the second act of the movie.
Yeah, I was looking at some interviews with him on Ellen, and I remember when he wrote it, he showed his wife Emily Blunt, and she was like going to help him get
Yeah, they were on a plane.
Yeah,
right?
they were casting. She was helping him cast, and then
she's like, "There's only one person that can play this role, and it's me."
Yeah,
and he kind of took that as an honor because he said that she said he said that made him feel like it was really good writing and that she was meant for that role, which is good because when I feel like if two actors or an actor and actress are married in real life, like the chemistry is a little bit better on set.
Yeah, I mean, look at Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I think that was before.
That's how they met on set.
Yeah, that's how they met. But that was still
that was really good chemistry on that. And since John Krasinski and Emily Blunt are married in real life, I think the aspect of them with kids and stuff, they already kind of know how that life is. Mm-hmm. So I would think the chemistry with them and the kids are kind of good because they already know how to be parents and they already know. So I really think this movie's gonna be really good.
Yeah, I do too. I'm really excited for this movie.
Another thing I want to bring up too is a lot of people think that this is actually gonna be another Cloverfield movie. But I didn't see the bad robot name on it, so I would say it's not. I would say it's its own thing. It'd be kind of cool because it'd be like another Cloverfield story. But
man, that's fucked. Cloverfield's been like coming out with movies so much. Oh, is that a Cloverfield movie? I bet this is a Cloverfield movie.
I think there's another movie with Daisy Ridley that's coming out that Bad Robot's producing, and a lot of people are speculating that that's going to be another Cloverfield movie. And I'm just like, Jesus Christ, freaking J.J. Abrams wants to do other shit. Cloverfield's not the only thing he does, you know? Next thing you know, the next Star Trek movie, it's actually a Cloverfield movie.
Yeah, you can see a little fucking tentacle come out of somewhere.
But so that looks pretty good. I can't wait for that movie to come out. It's coming out pretty soon too, so we'll go see that. Mm-hmm. So the screenwriter Kevin Williamson, he's gonna partner with Miramax and develop a bunch of genre films.
Any specific genre films, or just like?
When I read it, it just said genre films. But since he wrote Scream, he wrote Scream 3, I think, or Scream 1. He wrote one of the Screams. But since he wrote Scream, I'm not too worried about that because Scream was actually a really good franchise. Yeah. And I would like to see what he comes up with on his own. I know when he worked with Wes Craven, when he did Scream, it was always good because Wes Craven had some creative input in that. Mm-hmm. But Kevin Williamson, if he's gonna partner with Miramax and develop all these films, I think Miramax actually did the first Scream.
Yeah, I did.
So, if they're going to partner up and do a bunch of films, by all means, I'll probably go write them. I would assume they're going to be horror, though. Yeah. Because I would say that since he wrote Scream, which was actually one of a good franchise of horror movies, that I would assume that everything else would be horror that he writes. So, only time will tell. I mean, that news just came out this week that he partners with Miramax. So, he could be already starting to write stuff as of right now, but we'll see. Next thing we're going to talk about is that Predator that's set to come out this year was originally supposed to come out in the summer, but now got a pushback release date to September.
Yeah, that kind of sucks. I've been hearing a lot of bad stuff about Predator. I heard a lot of people are I heard executives aren't happy with the film, and
they're obviously keeping it a freaking secret because I have not seen or heard anything news wise about it except for that this week.
I think there's gonna be if it's pushed back to September. When's Comic-Con?
Comic-Con is in July, so they'll do something for Comic-Con.
Yeah, I'm assuming they are. That kind of sucks. I was really excited for Predator. I've been hearing I've been hearing bad stuff about it, but if they're pushing it back for something. I think they're doing reshoots. I'm not really sure, but
yeah, reshoots. I mean, it would work out. I would see how it would work out. Honestly, even if it sucks, the only thing that matters to me is if they make the Predator look cool. That's That's always been my big issue with every Predator movie. Alien vs. Don't get me wrong, all the Predators look cool, but I mean, you never know who steps in and then changes one little thing and it pisses off all the fan base, and it's just like. That's always my biggest concern. But speaking of movies getting pushed back in September, literally, the Conjuring spinoff, The Nun, also got pushed back to September, and that had a summer release date as well. I think in June or July. and it's also getting pushed back to September.
I'm glad it's getting pushed back because if blockbuster movies come out in September, especially you got Deadpool 2,
Yeah.
Avengers: Infinity War
For this to kick off summer movies.
Yeah, and then Han Solo. Like, I mean, they're gonna get killed.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, like.
So by the time that those movies come out, they'll slowly maybe have 1 or 2 showings in the theater.
Yeah.
But slowly start fading out to go to the cheap show.
Yeah.
So that I think that's really good because I think either way though, if it came out in June or July, it'd still make a decent amount of money because it's a horror film and people will love the Conjuring franchise. So I think a lot of people would still go see it. Mm-hmm. Obviously, it won't make as big as box office sales as Infinity War is gonna make or Deadpool 2 or Solo, but I think it would be up there. I would assume a movie like that costs either a couple million or a couple $100 million to make. And I would say the lowest or the highest to make it be $100 million. Yeah. But easily they'll make that money back because a lot of people are interested in who the fuck the nun is. We got a glimpse of it in Conjuring 2, one of the main demons, and a lot of people just want to know what the fucking backstory is from that nun. And in Annabelle. Was she Annabelle too? Yeah, she was in the post-credit scene, which set it up. And she was in she's in a picture. Yeah. Yeah. So a lot of people are just fucking curious, who the fuck is this nun? You know, it's just we saw. So I would like to just go out there and probably say that she was probably just a fucking evil bitch, or she's just a demon that just disguises herself as a nun. Yeah, that's what she is. Yeah. Yeah, she's just. But a lot of people want to know who the fuck she is and how the fuck she became who she was and stuff like that. So I'm looking forward to the Nun spinoff. I know a lot of people aren't. But I really am. Yeah, I am. Because I want to check it out. Annabelle, I think Annabelle 2 was a little bit better than Annabelle 1. Yeah, I agree. I really liked Annabelle 2. So if they can make another movie like that, then by all means I'm in. So yeah, this is going to be something that me and Yobs are excited to make. We're probably going to try to go to do, but if you live in the Los Angeles area, they're going to do a Killer Clowns from Outer Space live-to-film concert event. Yes, they are. And we just watched that movie last night. As of this recording. So what live to film means is they're going to play the film in the background, but the guy who originally orchestrated the movie, who did the score for it and everything, he's going to be there and put on a little concert as the movie goes. So he's going to do his infamous scoring. If you guys aren't familiar with Killer Clowns from Outer Space, it's really famous for putting in the way the movie sounded. Yeah. He put in the guitar sounds and the way just it all sounded. It sounded amazing, and it's going to be in so he's going to do a concert with that. On top of that, the infamous band, the Dickies, they're a famous punk band from back in the 70s and 80s. They did the iconic theme song for it, Killer Clowns from Outer Space. They are going to be there and performing a special little concert for all the fans to play their iconic song. So I'm really excited for that. I hope we get to go. We were looking at tickets last night. They are pretty expensive. Yeah, front row seats are $100. Yeah, a person. And then if you want the very top, it's about $80 a person. So I'll see. Hopefully, if we don't get it, be able to go though. I mean, it's not really a big deal, you know. I mean, yeah. But we have it on fucking DVD, and they'll probably film it and shit and stuff. So that's gonna be cool. This one kind of made me excited this week. John Carpenter came out and said he's open to make more movies. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, obviously I would like it, but I do remember him saying that he was gonna be done after the new Halloween. But I mean, it would be cool to see him make some more stuff. This guy is the fucking creator of some of the greatest franchises and greatest movies of all time. He did both Escape to New York and in L.A. He did The Thing. He did, obviously, Halloween. He did so much movies that, when I even think about, going back to it, thinking about, oh, shit, he actually made that movie? I didn't even know, dude, and that movie's so good. You start seeing the list of his resume, and he's just made some of the most iconic sci-fi and horror movies of all time. And we respect the fuck out of that guy. He's one of our all-time favorite creators and directors on the Nights of Horror. And if he does make more movies, I'll go fucking support him. Yeah, me too. Because it's John Carpenter, and it won't be a bad movie, really. You don't really watch the show, but I do. I watched it last season. I was interested to see what it was about. Because I started seeing a lot of promotional for it and when it first came out and stuff. It's a show called Santa Clarita Diet, and they came out with some new set photos of Drew Barrymore. She's the main character in there. Essentially what happens is she becomes kind of a zombie. Oh, does she really? Yeah. I thought she was just a cannibal. No, because she becomes a zombie. So what happens in the first season? Here we go, football and spoilers. But what her and her husband do are they're they're salespeople. They sell houses and stuff. So in one of the first episodes, she like has a bad stomachache and she throws up. Well, she throws up this fucking, I don't know what it was, but what it ends up doing is it makes her part of the undead. Oh. And so she starts getting like a taste and hunger for like raw meat and stuff and all that. And then that's not enough for her. So then she eats her first person, and she likes it. So then what happens is the husband and the daughter have to try to adapt to her being essentially a zombie. So essentially they got to go kill people for her to kind of live and stuff. So at the very end of the season, you find out that like the husband and the daughter, it's very hard for them to adapt to this. Mm-hmm. They don't want to kill her because that's their mom, the mom, and then the wife. So what they essentially do is they lock her down in the basement, and she says, no matter what you hear, don't let me go and stuff like that. And the daughter locks her up and then goes upstairs. And she kind of just reads a book or something. And I think the dad gets arrested at the end. I don't remember. It was like when it came out, it was like around this time last year. But so yeah, they're making a season 2, and a lot of the set photos are pretty interesting. One of the set photos is you see Drew Barrymore. Her fingers are fucking like twisted. Ugh. Yeah, so she's starting to really decay, and her body's starting to come apart. I remember in like the first season, like I guess some of her toes were coming off and stuff like that. Ew. I was like, fucking, where you at, Tarantino? This is all you, dude. But, yeah, so there's a lot of new set photos that came out. I think I'll put up, like, 1 or 2 of them on the screen. But I'm excited to see where this is going to go for the second season, because this was more of, like, a comedy horror aspect kind of thing. Yeah. Where, it was mainly, I would say it would be about a dark comedy. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. One of the last things we're going to talk about before we get to this week on YouTube is... So I've never seen the first one. I guess this movie called He Never Died. But I'm a huge Henry Rollins fan. Henry Rollins, if you guys don't know, is part of the infamous punk band, the Black Flag. Mm-hmm. And he came out in movies and TV shows. He was in Sons of Anarchy. Yeah. In like the second or third season. But Henry Rollins is returning for He Never Died 2. I guess he's a cannibal in this movie. Oh. So I don't know if I think he's a cop. I think, because I think in the picture I saw he was wearing like a cop's uniform, but he's a cannibal in there. So Henry Rollins is coming back to do it. This is one guy in real life that you don't want to pick a fight with. This guy will fucking drop your ass, dude. I saw fucking concert footage of him, and he's just like punching guys in the audience because they're fucking with them and stuff. And he's just a badass. But Henry Rollins, yeah, one of my all-time favorite singers from the punk band Black Flag. He's coming back for He Never Died 2. Like I said, I can't talk too much about this movie because I've never seen the first one. Yeah. So I don't know what to... All I read that he's a cannibal in the movie, and yeah. So congrats on Henry Rollins for that. I hope it's good. Actually, I forgot we have 2 other things we got to talk about. Kitty Pryde, X-Men R-rated horror movie. Yeah, in the works.
The guy who directed the first Deadpool, I'm blanking on his name, but I'll look for it right now. Yeah, Tim Miller. He's developing a Kitty Pryde horror movie, which is pretty good. I heard some rumors that Brian Michael Bendis is he's gonna write it, and Brian Michael Bendis is a fantastic writer. He wrote I think he came up with Miles Morales and Spider-Man. He wrote a lot of good comics for Marvel, and he just went to Action Comics right now in DC for Action Comics 1000. And yeah, I'm kind of excited for this because I like the writer and I like the director. I kind of don't know how they're gonna make a Kitty Pryde horror movie. I kind of hope it's not like New Mutants, because that would just be basically a reskin.
Yeah. I don't see what's very scary about her power though. That's the only thing, but I mean, they'll probably work something in where it's like it's a horror aspect of her trying to get away or something, so it makes it scary and stuff like that. Or maybe it'll tie into New Mutants. That'd be pretty cool. Mm-hmm. I mean, if it's a tie-in and stuff, but that's coming. I don't know when that's coming. If it's in early development, time can tell. Maybe like 2020, 2021. But yeah, last week we talked about Monster Palooza. This week we got some exciting news that Tobin Bell, the guy who plays Jigsaw, he was also the voice of the main villain in The Flash last season. Yeah. It's gonna be at Monster Palooza, and I can't be more excited about that because he is such a badass actor, and I would love to meet him. Yeah. That would be so cool to meet him. He adds on to the list of so many people that are gonna be at Monster Palooza, and I don't even have to meet him. Just to hear and see him in person,
Yeah.
Tobin Bell, I would just be like, damn, dude, I can't believe I'm looking at Jigsaw right now. Like, this guy is so fucking iconic and stuff like that. And I am just like, I'm so like excited that he's going to be at Monsterpalooza. I guess this is a pretty big convention if they're getting a lot of big names there, you know?
Yeah, I mean, I've always seen it, but I guess I've never, I don't know, well, obviously you've never been, but I'm really excited now.
Yeah, but so yeah, that's gonna wrap up for our horror news. Now this week we got This Week in YouTube. So here we go. This week in YouTube we have Crypt TV. They did Stoneheart Requiem, episode 3, Occupied, and Sunny Family Cult season 2, episode 6. If you guys are a big fan of horror like we are, go check out Crypt TV's channel. They always produce and make some of the best horror shorts. SoCal Exploring did a Pixar Pier construction update, and he did a really well edited and put together Disney vlog. I suggest you go check them out, especially if you guys are fans of Disney. I'm really keeping an eye on this Pixar Pier because they're gonna make like the Incredibles roller coaster and stuff like that, and so it should be opening this summer, and I'm super excited for that. And you know, I just like watching his Disney vlogs because he always looks like he has a hell of a good time. We should be collaborating pretty soon together. I actually hit him up. It was like, whether it's Disney or it's freaking Universal, dude, I'm down. Just hit me up. So same with this YouTuber. He should probably be on the podcast pretty soon, or you know, we film a video pretty soon. But it's Theme Park Info. He did a HHN 2018 update number 1, and he just basically talked about you know, tweets and stuff like that John Murray put out and stuff like that. Speaking of HHN tweets, we got our first little
Code name,
yeah, and so I'm a little excited about that. It's he said watch this old movie, and reading a lot of the comments, a lot of people are speculating it's Halloween.
Yeah.
So only time will tell. Zombie Chris, he did 2 new videos this week as of this recording. He did Valentine 2001 movie review for Valentine's Day. Never seen that movie, but I watched the movie review. It's pretty good. HHN Speculation, Five Nights at Freddy's. This is the one where he kind of was like, I don't know if it's going to come because, well, it's still in early development.
Yeah.
So I love watching all these HHN speculations because then it kind of gets me to question, like, oh, maybe they are going to do it, or, you know?
Yeah.
It can make sense. And last but not least, Awkward Arsic. He did a Five Nights at Freddy's coming HHN video and a top 10 horror films of 2017 video. I actually liked his top 10 horror films of 2017 video because I did agree with a lot of them. And there were some that I have not seen. So, because of watching that video, I kind of want to watch them. But yeah, guys, that's all the time we have this week for the Mindless Horror Podcast. I hope you guys enjoyed the podcast, and I hope you guys enjoyed all the news that we gave out. Like always, I'm Anthony.
I'm George.
And you have just listened to the Mindless Horror Podcast. Make sure to subscribe and tune in next week because we'll bring you more updated horror news. And I'll see you guys later.